and her children, and quite often when they come around to my house or I spend time with them, I just find myself feeling annoyed and I just want to be on my own again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's the case, or I don't really understand it.
They're the very things I had to remove from my life to facilitate the way of the heart. The places that I closed because of being annoyed, the things that bothered me, and the belief systems that were involved in those. Quite often I was just protecting wounding, but they had to be removed so I could actually love while in the marketplace, not just in a special circumstance. I was reasonably trippy in that things would upset me, relatively easy, and I found that those places inside of myself where I was tripped up, where I was touched and I was in reaction, were places inside myself that I actually hadn't showed up with full consciousness and been okay with, been in a place of acceptance with. And so the journey, and it was a journey, of finding all these places, usually because I was being tripped up, and managing to stay in them and heal whatever wounding was in them, took quite a lot of years. It wasn't a quick process. I found that there was wounds in me that had been in me since early childhood that were still there and still could be tripped up. And so anywhere that I got tripped, anywhere where I got touched and I reacted, I knew it was like an arrow pointing to where I hadn't shown up inside myself yet. So it was like a guide to where I needed to be, rather than where I didn't want to be. And for most of my life, there was places I didn't want to be, so I was looking for comfort like everyone else. So I didn't want to go there. I want to go where it's comfortable. But I realised that in avoiding these places where it was uncomfortable, I was going to remain trippy in the world and closed and defended when that sort of thing happened. And I didn't want that because I wanted to serve heart. I wanted to live the way of the heart. So I chose to be okay with discomfort. I chose to be okay with pain. And I started to look at the different ways that I got irritated and found ways to take that defense system away as well, so I could actually be with what is. Because when we get irritated, usually we call it irritation is another word for a little bit of anger. And I discovered that anger is only a defense system. It stops us from feeling something. Because in anger, at least we feel still empowered. Whereas if we go into the wounding that's under the anger, what it's defending, usually there's helplessness and hopelessness of some sort. And we avoid that like the plague because it's an awful feeling. But in the willingness to feel that, in the willingness to show up in that, in the willingness to be with that, it started to heal itself. And I found that after a while I was nowhere near as trippy. As a matter of fact, eventually it all went away. But that didn't happen easily. It happened over a period of time, quite a long period of time, because I wanted to heal the wounds of my heart. I didn't want to be wounded anymore. I didn't want to be led around by the nose by my own wounding. Avoiding this, avoiding that, not going there, not talking to that person, because I didn't want to feel something. So the journey of higher consciousness for me was also very much about healing the wounds of my own heart.